Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Saturday night edition, a post-Survivor Series edition of the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name, as always, is Johnny Bottles. To my left, Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. You know him from Twitter. It was an exciting show in certain spots. There were one or two spots where I was dozing off, Don. Dozing off.
I'm sorry you're sick. I didn't know you weren't feeling well, buddy.
That's okay.
I am going to help you to read between the lines on what we just watched tonight. It was a 2024 edition of the Survivor Series. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And somewhere in between, Nia Jax needs to learn how to throw a goddamn chair or take a chair shot. Because holy shit, if I was grading this whole show on the opening match, I would have broken every television I own, and I'd have started going to the neighborhood, causing a rampage, knocking door to door, asking if they knew who this bitch was, a.k.a. Nia Jax, because it was horrific to start the show. However, it did pick up from there. It couldn't get much worse. If it had have gotten much worse, it would have been AEW level of direct garbage bullshit. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It is a late night. I know. I want to thank you all. Hope everybody had a fantastic holiday Thanksgiving meal. Hope you got to spend some time with your loved ones, with your friends, with your children, with your cousins, with your nieces, your nephews, whatever it may be. I'm glad we all had it come and go. It was a great time here at this house. And I was excited for this pay-per-view, Bottles. I know you were too. I was. Like I said, there were certain parts where I just wanted to doze off. I didn't want to doze off as much as I wanted to jump out of my God-blessed windows and call it a day. This, look, number one, let's take it down a notch. Let's put on the radio voice. This is your DJ, Don Wayne, coming through. By the way, I want to tell you about this one. I'm sure you didn't see this encounter I had with some feckless face on Twitter. This guy had a tweet out.
I almost thought you were going to say Facebook. I said, good God, he's fighting with people on Facebook now.
No. This douche nozzle says, hey, he's got a meme going on, right? And it's all these people around their Thanksgiving table. It's like 8 people. And in the other picture, the whole meme, it's another guy upstairs. And everybody in the meme on the left says, why don't you come downstairs and tell us your bad AEW takes? Okay. I'm going to say this publicly and out loud on our format, all right? If you're talking professional wrestling at a Thanksgiving dinner with your friends and family, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. A loser to the highest tenth of the degree. I don't care if you get along with your family or not. You're a loser. At no point in my entire life, over 40-something years walking this earth, I'm not going to give you my age, you got to guess. Over 40-plus years of walking this earth, have I ever sat at my dinner table at Thanksgiving and said, you know, Dad, that Roman Reigns bullshit's just eating my ass. Not once has that ever happened. We've talked stories of old times. We've told tales of things that we've had happen, talked about loved ones we've lost, retrospected on things we were happy to have. I've never once been like, that damn Roman Reigns storyline, some shit. Never. So if you're that guy, if you're that gal, and that's how you get through life, is wrestling is your only caveat to happiness, seek help, you bona fide jackass of a loser. You have nothing going for you. Seek help. Seek professional help, not the guy next door that says he knows the secret to life, because that guy's probably a fraud anyway. I just want to put that out there real quick. I couldn't believe this jackass had the gumption to come at me with that bunch of bullshit. Have you ever heard of something like that?
No. Nobody wants to talk wrestling at their Thanksgiving dinner. You might, while it's over and you're sitting on the couch having a beer or a drink, a guy might walk over and sit down. Hey, you watching that Survivor Series tomorrow night? Saturday night? Yeah, we are, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we're going to watch that. It should be good. That sort of thing. It's not...
I've never had that happen. Never.
You never have grandma say, when's that little bitch Tiffany Stratton going to cash that Money in the Bank in?
By the way, the super chat's open. Block Larry weighing in with $5. Thank you, brother, for the $5 super chat. Even when we went to the matches on Thanksgiving, we didn't speak of it until we left the house. My point exactly. Nobody talked about this nonsense. Nobody. So if you're that loser, if you're that desperate, get laid. Meet a girl, get a nice reach around, do something of the sort to take your mind off.
Old-fashioned?
I mean, hey.
Get a nice old-fashioned.
I'm just saying. Thank you again, Brother Larry. We appreciate your support. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We watched Survivor Series, and we even watched this first match, so you didn't have to. Because this opening match is why women's wrestling gets the rep that it gets, justly or unjustly. This is why it happens. There was one opening segment about this show, Bottles, and I think you and I can agree on, and we can find common ground.
What was it?
The music for this show was fire. War Pigs featuring Black Sabbath. It doesn't get any better than this. That's how it should be. Am I wrong there?
No, not at all.
And Black Masses. That's as good as it gets, as Ozzy Osbourne belting that out. What you got going on there, Bottles? You're reading stuff. What are you looking at
My camera went off for the backyard, and I wonder what was going on.
It's Jey Uso coming in to beat your ass for giving him shit. He said, no,
He's in Canada right now, pal. He's in Canada. Unless one of the many members of the Fatu family are coming through my backyard.
Oh, Lord, yeah!
So, that first match had some bright spots in it.
No.
It had some, but most of it was bad.
I'm going to cover this because I took so many copious notes on how this was so bad. It was mind-boggling. I said Women's War Games is first, and Rhea has a God-blessed goat mask on. Why is it that when they get masked now, it's all got to be a goat or a ram? Why did she go in that direction? Why would you go in that direction? We've got the asshole on AEW wearing the same gimmick. Did none of you tards learn from Minotaur? This shit's never going to get over. And you can be Rhea Ripley. That's not getting over. That mask is never going to work. It looks like a third-grade chunky fat kid drew it up and said, this is my favorite wrestler.
That mask that she had on tonight, I thought the mask looked great. I didn't think it looked bad. It was better than that Batman thing she had on the other night. It was better than that.
Nevermore. The Raven.
Good Lord. That was hideous. This thing looked decent.
I thought it looked third gradish. I didn't like anything about this. Nia Jax enters the ring with the Whitney Houston haircut from the 1980s.
Why? I thought the same thing. I said,
I want to dance with somebody. What the shit was going on?
I said, she going for the Whitney Houston look or the Taylor Dane look? Remember Taylor Dane?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What the hell is going on?
I have no idea. And she's going to face off against Bayley.
She keeps losing weight. Have you noticed this?
I told you
Nia Jax has lost a ton of weight.
So has Bayley. They've both lost a lot of weight as of recently.
Jax is she's gonna lose her gimmick.
Oh no, her gimmick is still her gimmick is still awful wrestling, and she's got it. She had all the awful wrestling you'd want in one night. Nia Jax was so bad on this night, she might have just taken my worst wrestler of the year to close out 2024. In one match, she botched and no-sold and died more times than I can ever imagine. This
is her first War Games, right?
Oh, my God.
I think
it's going to be her last, too. It's going to be her last.
Could very well be. I tell you who should never have another War Games match.
Nia Jax.
Candice LeRae.
Oh, my God. Dude, she wasn't as bad as Nia. I don't give a shit. She just wasn't. I'm sorry. Nia Jax was 1992 WCW coal miner's glove on a pole match bad. That's how bad she was. Jake the Snake's fat out of ass shape trying to climb a pole to get it.
Was she Giant Gonzalez bad?
Yes. Yes, she was.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. It wasn't good.
Right out the gate, they get in that in-between platform that connects the two rings, and immediately they run into the cameraman. Like, immediately. Are they blind? Do they not see the 6-foot camera guy over there in the corner trying to film them and not get in the middle of this shit? She threw Nia Jax right into him. My God in heaven, what are we doing?
One thing I got tired of was every time someone's going to enter the ring, they got to look underneath the ring for shit to throw into the ring. Every single one of them done that.
We haven't even gotten to that yet.
It's horrible. Why wouldn't you just do what Morgan did? Go back up the ramp, step backstage, grab your weapon, or come out with your weapon. Come out with your weapon. Come out with a freaking machine gun to come out with something.
Morgan.
What's that?
Liv Morgan did that, not Candice LeRae.
Liv Morgan did. I just said Liv Morgan did.
Okay,
Liv Morgan.
I think
I said do what Liv Morgan did. Go up at the top of the ramp and go back and grab your weapon and come back with it. They all should have done that. Come out with come out with a rope. Come out with a chain. Come out with a chain with a lock on it. Come out with brass knuckles. You could do that in this match.
The best part of the opening segment of this was that actually Bayley had part of her outfit was an actual weapon that she took off with all those studs on the end. Like she was going to a D&D convention and getting real freaky with that shit.
Sure.
So she took that off and beat up Nia. Nia took it off and started beating up her. And I just said to myself, this isn't going anywhere. I don't give a shit. Nia has got to have her match so scripted and worked out. Otherwise, it's just never going to work. It's just not. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can salvage about Nia Jax, in my opinion, at this point in her career. She is what she is. She's a rotund woman that cannot move, doesn't have real weight to put behind her ass, and can't move ice cubes.
Just a couple months ago, you were saying that Nia Jax, on her second run with the company right here, is putting on some good matches. You even said that, and I agree with you. You did say that.
You don't have to rub it in my face. I reject everything I've said until this point. This was horrible. Because out comes Naomi, and she's got to go digging through the base of underneath this damn ring to find her special kendo stick, to which she comes in the ring with and throws in a shitter top to boot. So we got a shitter top and a kendo stick, and Bayley is laying there like a dead fish. She's just done at this point in time. So it's all on Naomi to get the upper hand. And Nia comes back with the same toilet seat and starts beating the shit out of Naomi. And Naomi gives Nia the Rikishi spot in the corner with the toilet seat over her head.
Yes.
I got to pop out of that. That was okay.
Yes.
Anything you want to talk about this portion of this literally shit show of opening match?
Io Sky had some good spots. I do have to say that. She's very good in these sort of circumstances. Some people can navigate the match. Io Sky was good. Stratton, for the little bit that she did in the match, was serviceable. Naomi, just a usual Naomi routine. Bayley was good. The rest of it was just... I had to go outside and scrape my shoe on the curb to get this match off of it.
Candice LeRae comes in with the chair, and Nia Jax gets a hold of the chair. And I haven't seen a shit show of a chair shot like this since I saw Hulk Hogan hit the Big Show in WCW in like 1995. It was that weak and that awful. Just absolutely horrific. Either swing the chair or don't pick it up. But do not ever do that again as long as you walk on God's green earth, because that looked like ass and even came across the TV even worse. It was horrendous. And you know what I'm talking about because she did it more than once.
Absolutely. Terrible. Just terrible.
My 3-year-old hit me with the rubber hammer harder than she was swinging that chair. God's honest truth. That was god awful. And that was the point where I was like, oh my God, Nia Jax, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the women's champion and you look like ass in a glass. Why is this happening right now?
You know what could have saved this match?
Yeah, I do actually.
What could have saved the match?
A value. So I would have had to watch it.
What could have saved this match, redeemed it, picked it up a little bit, is when Morgan and Jax were both down. Tiffany Stratton definitely should have cashed in. And she should have cashed in just to change things up, or Liv Morgan.
Bianca comes in with a trash can. Here comes Nia, and then hits LeRae with the door. This is just getting out of hand. None of this is making sense. There's a fire extinguisher in the ring now and a table that they throw in here. Nia is awful with all of this. And that's what I wrote. She's awful with all of this. She refuses to take or give a chair shot. She's got her hands up 3 feet from her holding something so she doesn't have to get hit with the chair. If you're not going to take the chair shot, don't get in the ring in this type of match. It's really not that complicated. I'm not the biggest proponent or fan of Becky Lynch, but she would take the shot because it required it in the match. That's all I'm saying, Bottles.
Exactly. You know, when somebody brings a fire extinguisher into the ring and they spray it all around, why not just grab the nozzle and swing that metal part around like a
I have never
mace?
understood it myself.
That's what I would do.
I'd have knocked a bitch out swinging that rubber end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tiffy enters the ring. She's got a trash can now and the lid. And actually, this is when it started to pick up. Because Tiffany Stratton doing some moves on girls and actually started doing some wrestling. Did you notice this at all? Like, Bayley is still a dead fish, by the way. She hasn't moved in 10 minutes.
I told you some of the stuff Stratton was doing was good.
I don't doubt it.
But my issue was
all the faces are fighting like hell. And Bayley lays there like a dead fish. She is flopping over here. She hasn't been seen in 10 minutes in this match. Just flopping around, sucking for oxygen. Why is Bayley so dead-ass tired in the ring already? What is happening with her?
That's what the agents plot out and have them do so that the other girls can get their shit in, and then the girl that's flopping around like a fish will magically come back to life and do her shit while Tiffany Stratton's laying there. You know what I mean? That's how it works, Don. Much like when they have like a 4-person match, Texas Tornado match or whatever. 2 people are going to get knocked out of the ring. 2 people fight. One of those guys gets knocked out. Who's ever outside comes in and take the spot. So they got to rotate them around. I don't know why they do that. It's so obvious. Why don't they just gang up? And they've done this. The men did this. You gang up on somebody, just beat the hell out of him.
And just beat his ass.
Beat him. Beat him. It's a fight. It's a street fight.
Again, Bayley just laid there like a heartbroken teenager that her boyfriend had just dumped for the final time. It looked horrible. It
like
just
a seal,
man.
a dead seal that washed up on the beach.
The killer whales got you surrounded and you can't get off the ice cube. Just awful. Io Sky comes in, literally runs around to the opposite end of the ring, gets her rose-colored trash can, ties it around herself with rope, and climbs to the top. And this just goes into a shit show because nothing happened. Whatever they were going for off the top
didn't happen.
Never occurred. It never came off the top turnbuckle. This whole thing washed out and looked like shit from the word go. Why is this women's match being allowed? This isn't just a one-time off thing, by the way.
Somebody call the cops.
I would have been like, we have a murder in the ring. They are killing women's wrestling right now, Your Honor.
Do you think Vince, in his deluxe apartment in the sky, was sitting there? He was sitting there in his boxer shorts and his bathrobe watching this show and throwing cocktail glasses at his TV screen.
God damn it. What are they doing? I told them. Don't give them more than 2 minutes of peace. Jesus.
Call my son-in-law. Hello? What do you mean he's not there? Of course he's there. He can't come to the phone right now. He's busy.
Gonzo then comes out and just starts throwing girls around.
Here we go with the Gonzo.
Block Larry, $2 super chat. Why is it being allowed? Thank you. I don't know, Bottle. I don't know. I don't know, Larry. This should have ended so much sooner than it did. The fact this was allowed to continue, it set women's wrestling back so far.
They should have had all those individual entrances on the pre-show. And then as they could have segued right into the main show and rushed a couple, like have Rhea Ripley come out for her team and then start the match. I mean, put everybody in the cages and start the match. They could have done it that way. The whole protracted individual entrances for all the women, it took too long. But it is what it is. That's what he wanted to do, and I think it was a failed experiment with Nia Jax. Somebody needs to cash in on this bitch. Somebody needs to win that belt.
It's not good. That's summing up enough. It's not good. Here we go. Finally, Gonzo comes out. Rhea finally comes back in the ring. Rhea gets out there, and Rhea starts getting everybody. She starts popping everybody. Everyone takes a bump. The crowd says it's awesome. I don't see why it is. Finally, Rhea starts swinging like Babe Ruth with some of this shit. Some action. Finally, Rhea Ripley got in the ring and looked like a professional female wrestler. And look, I'll give her this much, right? No one was willing to take a bump that night or give a bump. Rhea was like, F that. Everybody's getting hit with whatever I got in my hands. And it felt like a moment that finally picked up here. You know what I'm saying? The action picked up. It felt like an actual women's match at that point. And this is my issue.
Go ahead.
Rhea Ripley is the only person that I truly believe and have faith in, besides maybe Tiffy, I'm not sure yet, that can make me believe in her as a character or a professional wrestler. That's it. And I say that with what I'm about to say in a minute about Liv Morgan. Because Liv Morgan has to come in last in this whole thing. And Liv Morgan looks like the chicken shit heel that's going to run away.
Mm-hmm.
And she leaves the arena, supposedly, and goes behind the curtain. And comes back out with a baseball bat. And I wrote my notes. It's funny that I said Babe Ruth for Rhea Ripley. Because for all her small sizes and all her petite frame, dude, Liv Morgan was swinging that bat like I don't give a shit. Everybody's getting hit with this thing. And Rhea was red all over the place. This is when it picked up for me personally. What about you? Rhea came in. Liv was next. Say what you want about Liv. Dude, she's got me hooked. She looks... I'm little, but I'm going to cheat and beat your ass. What'd you think about up to this point?
I think she plays a great chicken shit heel. Perfect for the role. She still has that Hooters waitress demeanor. A little cutesy Hooters waitress. You need some more hot sauce? That sort of thing. Oh, we'll get you some more beers. She used to be a Hooters waitress. That's how she got discovered. So she is.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, I've read that. And she's also a fan of the wrestling business. So,
yeah, big time fan of the wrestling business. She's just too, I don't know, not believable. Not believable.
Okay, so here's my thing.
When you give her a weapon, if you give her a weapon like a baseball bat,
shit.
There
were only 2 girls swinging weapons on that night that looked like they meant business. And both of them, as it so happens, are in the biggest women's angle in this whole company. And Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They were swinging for the fences. Home run or bust.
They were the stars of the match. The match revolved around them. The other girls were ancillary.
They were just there.
They were just there. And nothing said about Jade Cargill.
Not a damn peep, right?
Her name was mentioned once, I believe, at the beginning of the show, and just in passing between the 2 announcers. That was it. Bianca Belair had 2 braids, 2 hair extensions.
Yes, she did.
Naomi's back to all the multicolored bullshit she used to wear. She's back to that now. It's her birthday today. She came out with a birthday hat on, a party hat.
This,
I don't know. I don't know. I tried to like it. I tried to like it.
You couldn't like this. You couldn't look at this as a wrestling fan of any era and say, this is okay. It sucked until Rhea and Liv entered this match. It was all gobbledygook trash. Nothing about this made any sense. It was ass in a glass. I don't have enough ways to describe this, man. It just wasn't good.
They weren't firing on. They weren't on the same frequency. They were the same wavelength.
They were not.
For one thing, Io Sky was going to slide underneath the bottom rope with a chair from the other ring and whack somebody with it, but she stopped.
I'm glad you brought this up.
She stopped and she just stayed there and laid on the mat. While
this
the
isn't
other
the
girls
moment.
Right. It's like, she said, I'm rushing it. I'm rushing it. Just like she rushed it when she climbed up with the trash can the first time. Then she had to climb back up again and do the spot, which looked good.
The trash can was supposed to be there because if they climbed out of the ring, it was a DQ and they lose. So that's why she did it. Where it went to shit, they were supposed to have a spot, I believe, off the top turnbuckle and it fell apart real quick. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. They had the double cage spot with Tiffy and Io Sky.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry.
Remember, she put the trash can over her head and did a moonsault.
Yes.
She did that last year. And
yes,
she
did
it again this year. Yes, she did. She's a call back to last year.
I didn't like any of this, man. I'm sorry. Just none of this really stuck with me. It was sloppy as hell.
It was very AEW-ish. If you try to do War Games with AEW girls, that's what the beginning of the match was like.
By the way, shout out to our favorite beer man who had a great point tonight. Stop calling this shit War Games if you're not going to have a roof on top of the cage. And he's right. He's right. Yeah. That's what made it War Games. You couldn't get out. You were going to take the beating. And it wasn't via pin. It was which team gave up and said, we've had enough. That was how it's supposed to be.
That was the Crockett NWA War Games. Absolutely. It had that famous spot where Sid Vicious grabbed Brian Pillman and put him up for a power bomb and banged his head on the top of the cage and power bombed him on the bottom.
Yes.
And then you had another one where
it was the manager of the Four Horsemen. Oh God. Why is his name escaping me right now?
James J. Dillon.
J.J. Dillon. J.J. Dillon took the finisher from the Road Warriors, the Doomsday Device, but they didn't realize his feet couldn't get over, so he came down and like fractured or broke his shoulder or his neck or something, and he could never take a bump again. Yeah, he could never take a bump again. And
then they put him in a submission hold.
Yes, because screw you, pal. It's going over.
Well, who did the press, the gorilla press, where they were banging a guy on the top of the cage? Who did that?
That was Animal against somebody.
Or
Animal on, okay. I think it was Animal on hit.
Tully?
Tully, yes, Tully Blanchard. Okay. I think is what that was.
Okay.
Anyway, to cut this off the knees, Rhea put Liv through a table with her finisher off the top rope, and they won. And that was that. I don't give a shit to ever see this again, in my opinion. I really don't.
No
Cena segment was next, which was good. And there's a whole lot of people out there, man. Bottles, this whole Cena thing is a generational gap that maybe you and I don't appreciate. But the Cena heads want to see him win a world title again. They want to see him main event WrestleMania again.
Right.
They
want him in the Rumble. They want him to win the Rumble.
Like, Bottles, that time has come and gone. Am I alone on this? Like, you're never going to see Cena win another world championship. You're not going to see that. Those days are over. This is the farewell tour. This is when he puts younger guys over, right?
Has John Cena ever won the Intercontinental Championship?
See, this is what everybody keeps coming back to. I don't think he has.
Well, that'd be a great match for him. That would be a great match for him at WrestleMania. Braun Breaker versus John Cena.
But he shouldn't win, though. I'm just going to say that now.
He shouldn't win. But they can billboard that match with, this is the one title that Cena never held in WWE.
By the way, thank you all for watching and subscribing tonight.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you all tuning in tonight.
What can I say?
We may not agree on this PLE, but we're all going to agree that we're all glad to be here. Ring-a-ling on
the ding-a-ling. Set your notifications. I got to jump in before he says it.
LA Knight versus Nakamura. And they have a recap to go over this. This is what the WWE does so well. Their recap lets you know why there is a personal issue involved in all of this. It makes sense. They tell a story. You know where it's going. You're not confused on why there's beef. And did you see what happened to start the match with LA Knight? I'm wondering if you caught this because my wife did. By the way, my wife caught this right out of the gate, and I couldn't believe she caught this.
I didn't catch it, Don. I was washing the stink of the women's war game match off of me in the bathroom and taking a squirt. So I missed that.
LA Knight got in the ring and deliberately dropped the belt before the match started. Deliberately dropped it.
So he was had a little bit of a boo-boo face that he was losing the belt. Yes, he did.
He deliberately dropped the title before he got in the ring. And my wife looks over me and goes, he's dropping the belt tonight because he just dropped it. I could see that coming. I was like, wow, how much are you watching my show? She gets it now, like she's in tune with what's going on.
Sure.
And I don't want to run down this thing and go through another half-hour breakdown of this match. But did you notice that the referee was of Japanese descent or Asian descent?
Yes, but he's a referee that's been in the WWE system for a long time.
I'm not saying he hasn't, but I am saying that I think that was there to preclude any kind of a conversation barrier or language barrier during this match. Because I looked it up. Nakamura doesn't speak a lick of English. He doesn't.
You're wrong.
I just looked it up tonight. He doesn't.
You're
went and did
wrong.
my research.
Nakamura speaks perfect English.
On this. I went and did my research.
You are dead wrong. Okay. Nakamura speaks. He speaks. You can ask this chat right now. Nakamura speaks fluent English.
He doesn't.
He's got a heavy accent, but he speaks fluent.
He doesn't.
When he was in a tag team with Rick Boogs, those two used to go and socialize together and surf together, work out together.
Okay. I'm gonna send you the link. He doesn't speak English.
Did you get this from backallywrestlingnews.com?
Nope. I got it from Forbes.
God, Jesus Christ. Anybody can write an article for Forbes.
Okay.
He speaks English. When he was at NXT, he spoke English. When he came to the WWE, he spoke English. Heavy accent, but he spoke English.
We are going to
I don't know where you're getting this from.
Okay. Either way, it's not his native tongue, and I think that's why that guy was there. I think he speaks fluent Japanese to make sure this went well. This match wasn't embarrassing. It wasn't bad. I thought it was good. It was an excellent match, in my opinion, from what I see, from what I saw tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this?
It had to happen. He had to lose this belt.
He has to, but why? Tell me why.
He was getting stale as the champ. As a tweener champ, he was getting stale. He needs to chase somebody for a belt or because there's an issue involved, something like that. And you need a belt for Nakamura just coming back from all these months off to juice him up a little bit, to have people go after Nakamura so he can have issues with people. That's what you needed there. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned LA Knight heel again and have him split off from this whole thing and go after somebody else. Or have him go after, I don't know, Cody Rhodes. That'd be a refreshing matchup. Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight. Why not?
I got a couple of hits tonight on Twitter. People were outraged that LA Knight lost his title.
They all were. They all were.
It wasn't going anywhere, Bottles. He had been stuck in this mid-card tier of hate and bullshit for the past several months. And he should be, at this point in time, way over the top. And they're killing his entire gimmick and his character by having him in this nonsense. I think it's time for him to get that push to that world title stage. I said it, if you remember last year, last August, I said he's not at the world title level yet.
Right.
I think he is now. And I think that's where it's coming, is come the Royal Rumble. I think you might see a huge push for this guy to go after a guy like Gunther or a guy like Cody Rhodes. That's sort of where I'm at now.
Cody Rhodes has that, the babyface has that title locked up on SmackDown. He's on the wrong show. LA Knight's on the wrong show. If
I
he
agree.
was on Raw, he would juice up Raw. And he would be, you could make a case for making LA Knight the number one babyface on Raw.
Yeah.
Make a case for that. Yeah.
I take over yeet any day of the week.
Absolutely. We're all yes here, no yeets.
This match there was nothing wrong with this match. I thought it was pretty good.
Right.
Again, the crowd. What's with the Canadian crowd tonight, by the way? Can you guys get off your hands and make some noise? Because you just sat there like a bunch of puppets and drones for most of this damn show.
Well,
Even
Don,
the
it's
great
cold.
segments, you just sat there.
It's cold as shit up there. They're probably frozen.
So move around and do something other than stare at Elk, for God's sakes.
They've always called the Canada crowd the Bizarro world.
It is, though, and they're not wrong. It's just weird. Why in the hell is Montreal so much different than the rest of Canada? Get your shit together up there.
From what I saw, the only time they came alive was during the 2 War Games matches. And really came alive at the end of the show during the Bloodline feud. You know, the Damian Priest Gunther match, when you can hear somebody yell, "Come on, Damian!" plain as day, you know it's quiet. And you heard the same thing. Somebody yelled, "Come on, Damian!" Yeah.
This is just what Canada.
But then
is
again,
like
for that Priest and Gunther match, you get excited about that. Good Lord.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I can see
we'll
this.
talk
We're gonna
about
have
that.
Way different opinions on this.
Oh,
By the
absolutely.
Way, Canada's like my attic. I forget what the hell I got up there half the time.
Jesus Christ.
I got a French Canadian. I got this other guy. I don't know what the hell I got up there, man.
Lord.
We get a commercial for a T-shirt, which started off bad, but ended up just absolutely hilarious. I want to talk about that T-shirt commercial. Did you notice this?
You need Otis. They need Otis. What? I don't understand for the life of me why this man doesn't have a manager and why he's not fighting for a belt solo. I don't understand why they're not pulling the trigger on Otis. And when he comes out, people go crazy over him. When he gets a hot tag, he comes to the ring and does all those moves where he's shaking his gut and spitting his hips and doing the worm and all this other crazy stuff and gorilla pressing guys. I don't understand why don't they do this? Unless he's just a lackadaisical pain in the ass backstage.
Look,
but he's hilarious.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that guy goes from that character to being a pain in the ass. And Maxine Dupree can't wrestle worth a lick, but she can manage. And she's got a spot on this company now that I think fits her. Don't put her in the ring anymore. Let her be a valet. She's easy on the eye. She can talk a little bit. Let her do that bit. That's what she should be.
She can manage Otis.
Otis, I'm here to manage you. Here's your T-shirt. The fact that they blurred out his ass and made it look like he was naked, I'm sorry, man. That was great. Up next for me was the match of the night with Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Mr. Speedos. This match,
Mr. Speedos,
also known as Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser. They call me Mr. Speedos.
I like to wear the nude if possible. Is there anything about this match you didn't like? Is there anything about this match you didn't like? Like, for real, like, they started off, they beat the shit out of Kaiser. He got out of the ring. And then Sheamus and Breaker went after it, and they were going one-on-one.
Well, pal,
this
let me tell
was
you something
amazing.
right here. It was a good three-way match. It was a good three-way match. Hey-o. There was it was the most WWE-ish thing that they did on the show, if that makes any sense.
Oh, you think so?
I think so completely. It was a great match, great work. An old star with two up and comers, and
So you hold on before you say
especially the next big thing, Braun Breaker. The next big.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask something. Who did you think was going over, and who did you think was taking the pin?
I definitely thought that Kaiser was going to take the pin.
Okay, really?
Yes, I did. I definitely thought Kaiser was going to take the pin, and then I thought maybe we're going to give this to Sheamus. He never won the Intercontinental title before. Why? The guy's on the tail end of his career. He's starting to slide downwards now, and he's going out putting people over. Why wouldn't he take the pin? I mean, why wouldn't he pin Kaiser and win that belt? Breaker's got the argument. I didn't lose the belt. I never got pinned.
Okay, you've got that one. You've got that one. I'll give you that one. By the way,
Yes.
Awful Wrestling is here. He says show was slow to start, but picked up at the end. And
You
that's
mean
where
our
we're
show?
at.
Our show? Oh, their show. That's
Yes,
right.
their show. No, that's exactly what we're saying, Awful Wrestling. We
Yes.
appreciate you tuning in, brother. By the way, if you're not following Awful Wrestling, AEW Awful Wrestling on Twitter, you should be. He's got some of the best content you're ever going to read. Guys,
Wait a
hilarious.
second. Wait a second. Did those Dynamite numbers ever come out?
They never did. I was going to talk to you about that earlier, but they never came out. They still have not hit the airwaves.
Because we usually get the quarter hours from Awful Wrestling when he posted
Yes,
on
and
Twitter.
we tell them and we give them credit when we get them.
Yes.
But
never
no,
came
they
out.
have not come out yet.
Well, I can only imagine they were horrendous.
And I will give him credit. He says, nope. And here's why I'm thinking too. They're not good. They're not good,
Not
pal.
good at all.
So you were talking about the Braun Breaker finish, and here was my thought process. Sheamus was eating the pin no matter what. He was not winning the IC title. He's
Really?
just not. That was never going to happen. Either Braun was going to lose it because Speedo's pinned Sheamus, or Speedo's has a bitch because Braun pins Sheamus and says, you never pinned me. I never got pinned. I should be the champion. My favorite part of this match, and you can tell me I'm a middle idiot, but my favorite part of this match was when Speedos pulled the ref out of the ring when he was about to count 3.
Yes. Yes.
How good was that?
I don't know. But I know that every time I see Ludwig Kaiser on my screen, I'm going to think he's Mr. Speedos. And it's going to ruin the whole thing for me.
But he's great. Dude, he's great. He was absolutely
He is
money.
great.
I'm looking at these young stars that they have in this company and what they're doing. They're in good hands, Bottles. They really are. Gunther's going to be the guy for the next 3 to 4 years.
Sure.
Breaker's going to be the guy for the next 7 to 10. And Kaiser's going to be right on his heels. This might be another Cena Orton type scenario. And Kaiser is way bigger than I gave him credit for earlier. He's just a svelte guy and in much better shape than I realized. He's not short. He's every bit of 6'2", 6'3". He's around there somewhere. He's a bigger guy. He's got I'm not going to say it. He's got a uniqueness about him. And Brock is just absolutely, Braun Breaker's out of his mind. Out of his mind looks
His uniqueness. Are you referring to his hog in his Speedos?
We're not going there, pal.
We're not going there? Okay.
When he pulled the ref out of the ring, I was like, oh shit, this is great. By the way, who won the match? Who won the match?
Who won the match?
Braun Breaker won the
did,
match.
of course. Of course he did. Braun Breaker with a better spray tan than Adam Cole.
Way better spray tan. I'll give you that much.
Yes.
Little support to my two favorite wrestling pundits. Much love from the North. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Ashton Chevalier.
Huzzah.
Appreciate you so much.
Huzzah.
Huzzah, huzzah. Here's a drink to the working man.
There you go. Folks, if you like our content on our channel, please like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, a little heart, a little comment, a little kind word, an FU, whatever you want to give us, and a ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. So you'll know when we come and have these little pop-up shows like this.
Who's the guy on NXT that I like so much? Ubo?
Sit, Ubu, sit. Obafemi.
Obafemi, that's the guy.
That's a name that I can't wait when he gets to the main roster. You can destroy that name every time we talk about Raw.
I am going to shit all over that name and never get it right. It's going to be horrendous.
I believe you'll see Obafemi Monday night. during the
Here's
New
the
Day
next match.
celebration.
You and I are clearly going to have two different opinions on this match. Gunther versus Damian Priest, and they have this segment. Why? Okay. Okay, here we go. Alicia Taylor is the new ring announcer, right? And Sonic the Hedgehog 3, their new movie, is sponsoring the show.
Yes.
Alicia Taylor took that shit too far with her hair because she looked like Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's
what
always
the
like
hell
that.
was that?
It's always like that. It's always like that.
Why?
When she was the NXT ring announcer, she always had her hair like that, jacked up. She is she sings in a band also, in a rock band. It's not a famous rock band, of course.
No
she sings in a rock band. Yes. I think she was a drummer in a band at one time, too.
That was awful.
Yeah, well, it's always like that.
I could have hung fruit off of her hair.
You could have. If you turn her towards the west, you could get all the channels. You could pick them up perfectly.
That shit, why would you come out looking like you've never combed your hair in your life?
It's always like that. And she does a good job. I guess she's well-liked backstage. She got promoted from NXT. In fact, they bumped the other guy who used to be the ring announcer for Raw. They bumped him, or for SmackDown. They bumped him down to NXT. So.
All right, pal, let me ask you something.
What's that?
I thought this match was great. I like the old school feel of this match. I like that Gunther attacked Damian Priest's shoulder throughout the match. He recognized the weakness and went after it. I like the fact that it didn't go any one direction for more than too long, that Damian Priest had to fight back from underneath for most of this. So tell me, what did you not like about it?
When I see the name Gunther coming into a match, I need to see the chops, the blood rising to the surface of the opponent's skin, the violence from Gunther just chopping the hell out of somebody in a corner, the loud chops where the crowd goes, oh! I need to see that. Just like the old days. He's not doing that anymore. He's not just rifling through people with chops and knife edge shots to the chest and to the neck and face in that area. He's not doing that anymore, and I don't understand why. And he's up against a bigger guy, of course, Damian Priest, but Damian Priest has the same match every time he's in the ring. The same freaking match. And I get tired of it. Just get tired.
I love the match. It felt like a throwback
I'm just tired
match.
to see it. It felt like a throwback match, of course, where Gunther is working a body part.
I loved it. I love this match from the psychology standpoint. He worked the body part. Priest couldn't get him up for the choke slam. He couldn't get him up for the razor's edge. I liked everything about this. And then Damian Priest comes out and kicks the shit out of, I'm sorry, my bad. Finn Balor comes out and stomps on Damian Priest at the end of the match and gives him a legitimate bitch. And the other part about I like was Gunther kicks the shit out of Finn Balor because he's mad he interfered, and rolled him in and said, well, it's over now. Powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. I loved everything about this match from the beginning to the end.
I'm smelling a face turn for Gunther where he and Kaiser may be the ones to be feuding with the Judgment Day now. The men of the Judgment Day. That could be.
I don't know it's going to go that far. You're not going to turn Gunther. He's going to be a heel.
Oh, the end of this. He could be a heel. He could be a face. He could be in between, pal. That's the beauty of it all. He could be in between. And I'm sure he gets cheered going up against those little pricks in the Judgment Day.
I just thought this was amazing. I enjoyed everything about this match.
Can you imagine Gunther giving Gonzo a shot right across the chest?
Oh.
No, I mean a
phrasing, pal.
A chop, pal. A chop.
Could you imagine if he gave her a pearl neck? I mean,
what?
Wait, what?
Hey now,
Ma, come in here and look at YouTube.
Vince is booking the show again, Ma.
Then I shit on her chest, pal.
Jesus Christ. Hey, honey, you from Cleveland?
You ever heard of a steamer?
I will say one thing, though. Damian Priest can sell. He can sell. And when he
did well.
when he tweaked that shoulder and the way the ref was talking to him, okay, they're going to work. They're going to do this now. And then you got close-up shots of the ref talking to him about the shoulder all throughout the match. I'm thinking, did he really hurt his shoulder? Or is he that good of an actor?
He's that good, pal.
He is that good.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think Damian Priest and Finn Balor are added to Saturday night's main event? Because I do. I think that's what's coming.
I hope not. Because they've had that match before on Raw.
Yeah. They've had a couple of matches, I hear you. But this is the blow-off. Go home. It's over after this.
I'd like to see Gunther versus Finn Balor in Saturday night's main event. It's a fresh match. It's something new.
Okay. Well, wish in one hand and shit in the other. Anyway, here we go with the new bloodline versus the old bloodline. Did you like the NFL intros? I know they did it last night on a Friday Night SmackDown, but I thought this was really cool. My wife hadn't seen it. She was like, wow, this is amazing. Where they were introducing them, where they went to school or what their background was. CM Punk was like, CM Punk, best in the world. I thought this was all really good.
It wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. Something different. Something different. That's what you need. Something different. When Raw is like a rerun. They're in rerun phase right now. And you know what I didn't realize? How many people were missing from Raw. McIntyre's missing from Raw.
Yeah.
Lynch is missing from Raw. You
Yes.
really miss her. And you really miss McIntyre. And for a while, Seth Rollins was gone for a while. And I'm not a big fan of his, but it's good to have him back. So a lot of people were missing, and they're slowly making their way back to the fold.
Did you notice that the new bloodline came out as one? They made a deal out of pointing that out, and the old bloodline came out individually. And it
Probably
also
to
made
save time. They were probably short on time, so they all came
No, that's
out
what
together.
they've been doing. That's what they've been doing lately. They all come out as one.
Okay.
That's what they've been. That's how they've been they've been differentiating themselves that way. So here's the other part about this.
Yes.
Jey Uso came out last, which says a whole lot about where they see him going. And God help us all if they see this guy as the next coming of Roman Reigns.
He came out after Reigns, which was a shocker.
That's what I'm saying. He came out last.
Yes. Same match every time you see it.
Every time.
The promos are incomprehensible sometimes. He gets lost. He meanders when he does a promo. And he falls back to yeet, yeet, yeet. The song is over for some reason. Don't understand why. It sounds like a bunch of noise to me. Of course, I'm old. So when he comes out, gets on top of the top turnbuckle, in this case, top of the cage, yeet, yeet, yeet with the arms in the air. People love it. So all I can say is they must have sold $1 million worth of Yeet shirts. That's all I can tell you.
A lot of shirts, pal. A lot of shirts.
A lot of Yeet shirts.
I got a question for you here. This match I thought was good. I'm not going to say it's the best War Games ever. Let's not get stupid. It wasn't bad. Probably on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I'd probably give this like a 3.5. I don't know about you. The opening match would be like a 1.5, quite frankly. I'd say this is probably a 3.5. I give the Gunther match 4 stars. I'd give the Braun Breaker match 4.5 stars. Like, I thought that was that good.
Best match on the show.
About a 3.5. Yeah. I thought this was about a 3.5, to be honest.
Yes, and Tonga Loa didn't even screw it up.
I was going to wonder if you were going to talk about that, because God knows I was waiting for that guy to screw this up at any given moment, and he didn't drop the ball. The parts of this whole program that got my attention were Roman Reigns not letting CM Punk enter the ring when he wanted to, and then Roman Reigns entering when CM Punk entered when he was supposed to come in. Like, you're not coming in now, I am. That sort of caught my attention. There's a dynamic within this match, and I feel like they're setting this up at a later date, models, and you can see it, and so can I. There's a friction between Punk and Roman Reigns where the dichotomy doesn't meet, and he was doing a favor. And did you catch, by the way, the old Bloodline one, they all surrounded, help me out with the name. They surrounded the new tribal chief. Shit, his name.
Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. Thank you. It's been a long night, pal. I've had football going all day. Then I watch this. It's been a long day. You're not feeling well, and I'm about half in the bag. So
I was outside over a burn barrel all day, burning the old fire, the old tree limbs from the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
That the county never picked up. They said, put it outside your property on the side. At the edge of your property line, we'll come by and pick it up. Well, I found out it could be 6 months before they finally get to everybody. And
screw that.
Yeah. Screw it. I bought a burn barrel, just started burning the shit all day long. So I've been sucking fumes all day, pal.
So the OTC and his clan gave Solo Sikoa all their finishers all at once and essentially left him for dead in the ring. So that makes a very interesting Friday Night SmackDown coming up. In my opinion, is this where we see Jacob Fatu turn on Solo Sikoa? There's a lot of interesting.
This is exactly where you see Jacob Fatu's turn on Solo Sikoa. I said this 2 months ago. This is the way it's going to play out. The Rock's going to come back after this happens when they turn on Solo and kick him out.
To regain it all.
The Rock comes back as the High Chief, sets everything back in motion. Jacob will be the tribal chief and call the shots, and they'll bring in one of these other Fatu boys that they signed and throw him in there to replace Solo. So Solo's a man without a family.
Right.
He's
and I
on the
get
fringe.
That makes sense.
Like Jimmy was. Remember Jimmy was out for a while?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like Jimmy was. So, Solo will be out.
I thought this was a good Survivor Series. It's not the worst. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be the worst. But the opening match, I'm gonna be as blunt as I can be, was awful. 1.5 stars in the dirt. Terrible. Never do it again if you can't do it if you have to keep searching for weapons and bullshit, you don't need to be in the ring. I'm sorry. And put a lid on the cage. Don't let them climb out of the damn thing. That's the point of it. The cage is the weapon. That's the point.
They didn't put a lid on the cage, Triple H said in interviews when they first started doing this again, because they wanted the guys to do the flippy-floppy moves and the girls to do the flippy-floppy moves to be able to have a high spot coming off the cage. That's why they did it. They kept it open.
Would not.
He's all about the old WCW, NWA kind of shit. When I say he, I mean Triple H.
I got you. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you for joining us after the post-scrum that was a Survivor Series. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notifications button. We will probably be back on Thursday this week. I hope Bottles feels better. We've done quite a few shows. I want to thank you all for joining us. Bottles, I know one guy that would have actually liked the way this whole thing went down tonight. Care to guess? I know.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.